firecracker that we played before, but I want to tell you about this composer that I actually studied to learn a little bit about his life. And also a friend of mine named Joe portrayed him in a one-man show. Tchaikovsky was born in Russia around November 1840, I believe. I think he was born sometime in 1840. And he was a master in everything he did. He was a fantastic, wonderful musical composer. He composed many, many, many different pieces. When you study theater, you have to learn everything. And the one thing I wanted to learn is study composing, which I did many, many years ago. How important it is when you do musical theater to know everything there is to know about the composer. One of the composers I was fascinated with was Tchaikovsky. And my friend Joe actually did a one-man show. He portrayed Tchaikovsky. This was back in, I believe, in the 80s sometime. I don't remember exactly when he did the show, but it was a one-man show. And sadly, Joe is no longer with us, and neither is Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky died sometimes in the 1800s. But he was an absolute genius in what he did. And learning about composing was something that I really had to do, studying musical theater and learning about operas and operettas. I also had to learn about composers, so I took a composing class. And I learned everything there was about the history of a composer, their lives, and everything else. Tchaikovsky lived in Russia, but he was born in the 1840s. And he was absolutely a genius in composing. Let me get out of this. Here we go. He was absolutely a genius in what he did, folks. It was unbelievable what this man actually composed. I'm going to see if I can find anything else about this man's life. All right, let me find it. Tchaikovsky. I can't even spell it right, folks. Tchaikovsky. Composer. Yes, it was absolutely a thrill for me to actually... Here it is. Yes, he was born, like I said, in Russia. In Vasvalt, Russia. Okay? Now, he had many, many compositions, folks. Many, tons and tons of compositions, folks. You have no idea how much this man actually composed. He had a thing about beautiful. He did ballets, which was absolutely beautiful. Piano concertos, violin concerto. He did many overtures, cantatas, choral work, quintets, string sextet, and many different wonderful pieces. And how I learned about him. He was the second of 6 surviving children. He always had this interest in music from very early childhood till even, when he died. In 1845, he started taking piano lessons from a local tutor. Became very familiar with Chopin, different things, Chopin piano pieces, Friedrich. These are famous composers, which eventually we'll get to down the road. But it was absolutely fascinating to learn about him. His mother fell victim to a very bad illness, and she died when the boy, in his later years, at age 17. And he continued going on with music. He had an Italian singing instructor named Luigi Picolia. And the list goes on and on about Tchaikovsky. And then my friend Joe actually played Tchaikovsky in a one-man show. From Deborah Wade's Theater, have a great day.